Chapter 28. Brittany wins. But remember what I said in the last chapter about happy endings? It isn't always about winning the election, or the race, or the game. Sometimes it's about winning something much bigger. Here's the rest of the story. We come in second. A close second. During last period, Mr. Kiley asks Addie and Joan Skeesy and me, right out loud over the PA, if we would come to his office after school. When we get there, he congratulates us on a good campaign and our near victory. Then he tells us that my idea for No Name Day is more important than who gets elected to student council, and will we work with him to help make it happen? We say, sure, of course, you bet. And he says, thanks. And then just as we're about to leave, he puts a hand on my shoulder, looks me square in the eye, and I swear on a stack of pancakes says to me, Bobby, up until yesterday morning, I accepted kids calling each other names. I didn't like it. I put a stop to it whenever I heard it, but for the most part, I just shrugged it off as kids being kids. Well, I was wrong. It doesn't have to happen. That was a brave thing you did yesterday, and I want you to know that bravery doesn't go unrewarded. I'm making a personal commitment to seeing that things are different here at PFMS, and that's because of you. I do not know what to say. I have to bite my tongue from telling him that I like his tie, which I do, because I want to say something nice and am too embarrassed to say the simple thing, which would be thank you. He seems to understand this without my saying a thing. I guess he's been around a few 12-year-olds in his time. So the No Name Party does not win the election, but No Name Day, which the following year will become No Name Week, becomes a part of the way things are done at Paintbrush Falls Middle School. Oh, and about those notes in Joe's locker, they weren't from Kelsey after all. They were from Colin. After my speech, Colin got up the nerve to tell Addie and Joe that he needed to talk to them separately. He told Addie that there was some sort of misunderstanding, that he had thought the notes in his locker were from someone else, and that's who he was expecting to meet at the flagpole. He had just figured it was a coincidence she had come by when she did. He told her he liked her, but not like that, and said he hoped they could be friends. Addie said she understood, and then she was miserable for about 5 minutes until Dushan came up to her and said, "Congratulations." Addie, "Thanks, but we haven't won yet. The elections are tomorrow." Dushan, "I don't mean that. I mean congratulations on your campaign. It's awesome. And Bobby's speech was totally cool. Did you write it?" Addie, "No, well, I helped a little, but mostly it was Bobby." Dushan? Dushan, "Yeah?" Addie, "Why did you agree to run for president?" Dushan, "Girl, you are a funny kind of colorblind. You see the color of my skin, but you don't see anything else about me. You wanted me to run for president because I'm black. And don't go telling me that's not true. I'm not that stupid. So why'd I agree? I will tell you because you are too blind to see it. I did it because you're smart and you don't take sass from nobody. And I like that." Addie, "Tony's smart and doesn't take sass." Dushan, "Tony's all flash with nothing behind it. You got more going on for you than attitude. At least that's what I thought." Addie, "You're right, Dushan. I'm sorry." Dushan, "Apology accepted. Now, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to prove to me that you are not colorblind like I say." Addie, "Okay, whatever you..." Dushan, "So, you want to go to the dance with me tomorrow night?" Addie, "What? You want to take me to the dance?" Dushan, "You deaf too? I said go with, not take. Nobody takes nobody to the dance. But maybe you think I'm not good enough for you." Addie, "No, I don't think that at all. And I would love to go to the dance with you, really." Dushan, "Okay then." Addie, "Okay." So Dushan and Addie are going to the dance together. And as it will turn out, they will end up going together for the rest of 7th grade. As for Colin and Joe, well, Joe does not report his dialogue word for word the way Addie does, so I cannot tell you what happened there exactly, but the gist of it was this. Colin met up with Joe after school on Thursday. It took a while, but he finally got up the nerve to tell Joe the same things he'd told Addie, in addition to admitting that he was the one who had put the notes in Joe's locker because he thought the notes in his locker were from Joe. When Joe showed up at the flagpole with Addie and me that time, Colin hadn't dared come over and say anything. And when Addie had gone over to him, he didn't know what else to do but walk her home. And then he told Joe that he liked him, and could they go out together. Just like that? I ask when Joe tells me this on Friday. His face is beaming so bright it could bring moths. Just like that, Joe goes. He came right out and said it. He told me that he's liked me since last year, but it took him until this year to figure out what it meant. And now he wants us to be, like boyfriends or something. That's so cool, I say, and mean it. Addie can hardly believe it when she hears the news. My boyfriend is your boyfriend? She goes. But when we remind her that Colin was never her boyfriend, and now she has a real one of her own, she relaxes and says, maybe we can double date her sometime. So there will be a whole lot of us going to the dance together, misfits and fits, couples and not. My dad will be there as a chaperone. I'm kind of hoping there will be some single mom there for him to meet. But if there isn't, that's okay too. The important thing is that he will be there. The way I look at it, love does not necessarily make for a happy ending any more than winning does. What makes for a happy ending is what Addie said all along: freedom. The freedom to be who you are without anybody calling you names.